Alright, today I'm working on these light rails for my dump truck. These are going to replace those old, terrible tail lights that are made for recreational trailers, not for a dump truck. So I've got to cut this off even. This is my halfway point. This is the other end I'm going to cut off. This I've used a compass, kind of made it myself. This has to be 4.5 inches in diameter to take this style LED light. The package says that in order for this to go through there, it has to be 4.5 inches in diameter. So I've got this. If we go to 2 here, I've got that exactly 4.5 inches. This I will cut out with my plasma cutter. These I'm going to use a cutoff tool here to do. So let's get started. Now, as you can see there, that makes a nice clean cut. I'll have to do a little dress grinding here, but that's going to work fine. So let's cut off the other end. This one's too short to use for anything, so it's going to the trash. Alright, let's cut it in half now. Probably not going to get much more use out of that one either. Okay, now I've used up all my old smaller grinding wheels, so I'm going to cut these holes before I dress grind them, because that way I can do them all at once. You can see that I've made this mark for the cut for my light. What I'm going to do is line these up, and this center hole is the center of this perfectly. So I can use this, put that in the hole, and I've got this set up at 2 1/4. So all I've been doing is just this. Starting at 2, that is 6.5 inches. So that's working perfect. So now I'm going to use the plasma cutter and I'm going to cut these out. Okay, we'll cut this next one out. Perfect. All right, let's see if this fits. That's awesome. Just the way I wanted it. Now that's good and snug. It's never coming out. All we have to do is take it out and paint it. Clean this up here and paint it. All right, let's get the other one in. See how it fits. All right, I'm working on this next one. The other one fit fine. So let's see what this one does. Yep, she's gonna fit the same way. That's perfect. Okay, I'm going to get these panels cleaned up now. Alright, those are cleaned up, ready for painting. Now the next step in these lights in my dump truck, I've ordered LED bars that I'm going to mount on here for backup lights. And they are going to mount here. So this is exactly the size I need. Didn't even have to cut it. So all I have to do now is take my plasma cutter and run down through here and cut that right on that line. And then the lights are ordered. I'll have to wait till the lights get here to set up where the drill holes need to be for the lights. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off and I'm going to grind it and get it all ready for that. Now it's all grinding. I got my grinder set up. We're going to grind these off and get them ready. After I get these holes drilled, I'm going to weld these onto these plates. Then I'm going to weld the plates onto the truck. And once all that's done, then I'll paint the plates and then install the lights. It's just basically a piece of angle. I think it's inch by inch. And I'm going to put that on here. So I'm going to cut this in my vise with the plasma cutter, and then I'm going to plate the outside of each one of these just for strength. All right, I got these welded in. These are all done. This light project for the dump truck, parts came, and I've determined that my drill for the screws that came with it need to be that size right there, which is 9/64. So now I'm going to prepare to drill the pieces that are actually going to go on the truck. These are the lights that I'm going to use for backup lights, one on each side above the tail and turn signal. So I will have to drill holes in the metal here and here before I weld it on, and I also have to drill a bigger hole out there to let this go through. So that's what I'm in the process of doing. This is going to be my license plate light, and I've marked it here, and I've got out a center punch and center punched these. So I'm going to drill these, and then I'm going to use this for a pattern to drill the other piece for the opposite side. This is a 9/64 bit. This is the size I need to put these screws in with. I'm going to just start to drill this, then I'll add oil. Good divot. I would like to have used my drill press for this, but I don't have a chuck that is small enough to go into that to run these bits. I'm going to put them in the vise together like that, and because they're not exactly the same size, I'm going to clamp it. And then I'm going to start both of these holes, and then we'll take that off and drill them. Turn it around. Okay. Clamp off. There, did you hear that crack? Now, that's just about ready to drop through. So now you lighten up your pressure. Alright, let's fit our lights up to these and make sure they work. That way when I'm done and I get this all welded together, all I have to do is screw them on. Those line up perfect. So the next process for this is going to be to get these marked out exactly where I want this hole to be. Okay, I'm going to cool this now and make sure my light fixture fits it. Okay, after test fitting this, everything looks good. Holes line up, we're all set. These are ready to weld on. That one's welded, they're straight. Perfect. Those are ready to go on the truck. This is going to be my license plate holder. I'm going to drill this and put an illuminator in it and come out over top of the plate and shine down on it. I've bent this a little bit. I'll show you exactly why. Let's cut this off. I bent it because the way I'm going to put it on is above my plate. My light will go down here and shine down onto the license plate. I need to drill holes in this 7/64, and that's the hole size that I need. So now I need to mark out this bracket. Don't know if that'll reach through there or not. Maybe just. All right, I'm going to drill all 3 of these holes with my 7/64 and use the 7/64 for a pilot hole for the center. I always run these steel bits at a lower speed because it's better for them. You don't have to run them high. Most of your drill presses don't run all that fast. All right, the next size I'm going to go to is 5/16. Then I'm going to go up to 3/8, and I think that'll be the right size. Now, before I go any further and go to another size, I'm going to see if that's going to work for what I want. Those holes line up exactly right. Got the hole for my wire in the back there. It's all set. Everything looks real good for this piece. So now it's time to bring the truck in and start welding stuff on. The way I'm going to install these is like this. I'm going to have to grind a little bit here. So the first thing we need to do is flat foil this off and get this clean so I can weld to it. So now the next step, I have to go over on the other side and I have to cut off this license plate hanger right here. Alright, I got this cut off. Alright, I'm going to flap wheel this off. Then I got to get a grinding wheel on and I got to come up in here and grind this off. That looks pretty good. I think she'll weld. Don't like that not being level. So now I need to pull the dump out. I need to bring my welder up into here so I can reach good, and then we'll weld these pieces on. Got my welder over here. Everything's ready to go there. I had to cut a little bit out here in order to get this to slide in so it would be welded. I could weld it here. Alright, let's go over and see what we got to do to the other side. Okay, I got this tacked on, and I've got it just exactly in the right position that I want. Right there.
Looks good and level.
I just took this light out, and you can see why these things are trash. It was all broke out on the inside. Yuck. I'm glad I'm replacing these. These are nothing but trouble. The next job here is to take this old crap light off. So I'm going to get my cutoff tool and I'm going to cut these bolts off back here. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to primer up these bare metal parts, and then I'm going to shoot them just with like a spray paint. This is right now just to protect this bare metal. My whole objective here is to get all this weld covered real good. It may even need 2 coats, I don't know. This isn't the best paint in the world. Okay, we're finally ready to wire this truck up. So I'm going to go back to my trusty Penetrox here, and these are the plugs for the tail lights that I've installed. I'm going to Penetrox these and then install them. Alright, that one's in. Now all I did was pop these lights in. They're perfect. Holes were right. They're mounted there, and they're mounted here on this side. These are all set to go. These backup lights I have to screw in yet, so that's next. There it is. Grommets. Going this way. Okay. Now this one. They're kind of cambered, so you have to get them just right. Alright. I've got the ground soldered, and I've got my shrink tubing over it. Now I'm working on the parking light. My shrink tubing is on, and I'm ready to solder that one. That's got it. And we'll wait till that cools before we slide our shrink tubing up over it. Alright, that shrink tubing's on. Now we need to put the backup light on. Shrink tubing on this one. Now the last one we have to do is this red one. This is turn signal. That is soldered. I'm going to unhook this and push it over the back where it's going to be, and then I'll do all the shrink tubing. Turn signals are working, 4-ways are working, parking lights working. Alright, I've run a zip tie through from the front, and I've zip tied all these wires right back against the back panel here. And they're all nice and held, just perfect, and they should work there for a long, long time. And I've got this cap on and this little cap on here protecting me from those screws. So if I have to get under here to do anything, I won't get my knuckles ripped off with those. Alright, let's go do the other side. That's done. Next is parking light. Alright, that's soldered. Alright, next is the backup light. Alright, that's done. Turn signal, check. Four ways, check. Parking lights, check. Backup lights, check. All lights working. Alright, this is with everything on. You can see how good a job that illuminates my license plate. Tail lights are working. I got the parking lights on right now. Working great here. Everything works. This truck is a legal beagle again. I just wanted to thank all my subscribers. If you like what I do, please subscribe and hit the like button. My lights are great. Everything looks good. All the old trashy lights are gone. This is all going to work great. It's never going to come off. The only way I could ever do anything to this is if I back directly into the lights. They're protected here. Everything works great. So I'm very happy. And this is the last thing. We're done. This project is complete. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.